My name is Hannah Gadd Ardrey, and I'm the 2019-2020 Mississippi Teacher of the Year, and I'm the choir director and music history teacher at Lafayette High School to 6th through 12th grade students in Oxford, Mississippi. I believe that teaching students is not just something that we do because we're teachers. I believe it's something that we do because we're called to do it. I have a really unique perspective on teaching students because I see them from their 6th grade year until their 12th grade year. I knew I wanted to become a teacher on September 16th of 2009 when my grandfather passed away. And I was in school at Ole Miss, and I was a biology major. And I really was not doing it for me. I was doing it so that I could be a doctor to help people like him. And this momentous life moment happened, and I lost someone very special to me, and then I had to kind of reevaluate what was important to me. And the main thing that kept coming back in my mind was helping others. And everyone in my family was a teacher. My aunts and uncles and mom and cousins, I married a teacher. So it was kind of inevitable that when I think about how I could have helped people the most, or when I think about how I could make the most impact, I kept going back to teaching. And so I majored in music, and since then I realized that I don't have to be a doctor to change hearts. I can be a teacher to change hearts and minds. And being from a hardworking family that grew up on a farm, I was raised by mechanics and teachers and farmers, and they kind of instilled in me this idea that hard work and dedication and passion for what you do will continue through the rest of your life. And it just kind of reminded me that learning is lifelong, and learning doesn't just happen in four walls of a classroom, and that a teacher can be anybody, anywhere, at any time. When I've been traveling all over the state for Teacher of the Year, I use the term music. We can motivate, understand, and sculpt independent citizens through music, and that's something that I get to do every day. I get to motivate students to be better people. I get to motivate them to collaborate with others. I'm motivated by them. I get to understand them, and their parents get to understand them a little bit more. They get to understand each other because the person sitting next to you in class may have a completely different life than them, and you get to learn how to understand someone else's journey. I know the American dream is about pulling yourself up from the bootstraps, but my kids get to learn that the person next to them may not even have boots to pull themselves up by. I feel like music is something that is all around us every single day, and that kind of pulled me in the direction of being a teacher and understanding the importance of learning how to share your voice to make an impact for other people who may not have found their voice yet. That's why I feel like being Teacher of the Year is so important too, because I get to be a voice for the voiceless, and music lets me show my students how they can use their voice to enact change in the world. My advice to an aspiring teacher is to listen to your students and give yourself some grace. Remember that if you set the bar for perfection, then you're always going to be disappointed with yourself and with your students. Always realize that being humble is much more important than being prideful. Admit when you're wrong. Share when you've discovered something new, and understand that your students are learning right there along with you. Whether you're in your car after a long, hard day and you're crying, or a student that you never thought would be able to score high enough on their benchmark to pass finally got those marks. I want you to remember to be humble and always be there for your students. And remember that it may feel like you are alone or on an island, especially as a new teacher. But don't be afraid to go and ask someone down the hallway, someone in another school district, or even your principal for help. And remember that your mental health is super important, because if you're not taking care of yourself, then you're not going to be able to take care of anyone else. And when all else fails, just remember to love yourself and to love your kids. And I know that love doesn't pay the bills and love doesn't get you a paycheck, but love can do so much, and it can change the hearts and minds of you and the people that you come into contact with. And remember that communication is key with all of that. Until you intentionally include, you unintentionally exclude. And make sure that you are creating an environment of love and acceptance, and creating this culture that fosters joy about learning in every single child that walks into your classroom.